Tom Leonard, and I'm the superintendent of EISD. A couple of years ago, Michael Miles, who you'll meet in a minute, he came up to me and he said, we have to do something a little different. Your business education curriculum is out of date, it's not very good, and it needs to change. As we started talking, I got more and more intrigued at what he was talking about, and he said, I want to help you change it.
The Business Incubator Startup class is where students work in groups or in teams to develop ideas, to validate ideas, to test ideas.
We choose one idea and we try to form a business out of it. And at the end of the year, we pitch to venture capitalists and different types of investors to try to get our idea into reality.
So far, every kid wants the opportunity to stand in front of those 11 investors and to pitch their idea for potentially a life-changing experience.
What's really nice about this is we also have a lot of mentors come in. They are experts in their field and they let us know what they did to become successful and what we should be doing the same.
I call them content experts because they're coming in to teach a specific content. So at the end of the year, students will have fully developed their business ideas and they'll have an opportunity to pitch their plans, if they choose to the board of directors, to the educational foundation, which will then decide if they want to fund their idea. Technology and the mentorship programs are vital to the success of any of these groups.
What then happened is it started changing other courses, math courses, English courses, because the kids were so enthused about this that those other departments started making changes, which is really interesting. Now, that was a quick overview, and I think the video gives you a quick overview, but now I'm going to have Michael just break it down for you. So, Michael?
I am an entrepreneur and started companies shortly after I graduated from college, so I had the opportunity to be a very young entrepreneur, and I'm not what I would call a serial entrepreneur that starts a company and then flips it and needs to start another one. I have started a company that I ran for 25 years and kind of built it to a pretty sizable scale, and then kind of hit a stage in my life where I started making investments in smaller businesses and funding kids that were graduating from some of the top MBA schools in the country, Stanford and Harvard and Booth, and noticed a trend that young people were not as interested to go work in investment banking and consulting and Goldman Sachs like they used to be. Kids were shifting their attitudes towards entrepreneurship. So I knew nothing about education, by the way, and approached Tom and said, boy, let's try to take entrepreneurial learning into the high school in a very authentic way. What we found was there's a concept called the lean startup. It's a really cool process that entrepreneurs are using right now. And it's so powerful and so effective in an education setting that every undergraduate entrepreneurial program and graduate program around entrepreneurship is adopting concepts within the lean startup. So everything was validated. Our very first cohort is in college right now. They just started, and we're getting letters back saying, oh my gosh, thank you. This is exactly what I'm learning right now. My teacher's blown away that I learned this in high school. I spoke with a guy named Jim Sharp at Harvard Business School. They have a new class that they started 3 years ago called Field 3. Field 3 is the lean startup. This is very foundational stuff, and it's a skill set that they believe every business person needs is to be entrepreneurial and pretty scrappy.
Okay, so you got the idea. My last year at Barrington, I'm going to bring you through it with a group of kids from the very beginning to late night in May when they're in a big auditorium. Just think of what Michael was telling you, and let's kind of play through it. Ideation. What is the problem? What bugs you?
The problem we're trying to solve is for the mornings, kids have to wait outside in the cold and dark up to 10 minutes, and we want to reduce that time. The Business Incubator class has really helped us nurture the idea and make it a reality.
So they needed funding for their minimum viable product. This is a team, the only funding they asked was for gas money.
just finished our MVP. It's the minimum viable product, so like the cheapest way we can test the idea. Basically what we did is we followed school buses with our cars and just texted the people who were taking the school bus to kind of like see if tracking and like obviously telling these people where the bus is a good idea, and if it is something that people would use.
So iteration, 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 you're in May, the pitch.
Imagine, it's pitch black, there's a heavy snow, there's freezing temperatures, and the roads are covered in ice. Meanwhile, your daughter's bus is 10, maybe 20 minutes late. Now, is this a safe environment for your daughter to be in? No, we didn't think so. And that's why we created the solution of FMB technology.
Now, what is FMB technology? FMB stands for Find My Bus. And what we do is, through GPS technology, let parents and students see exactly where their school bus is before school, after school, and for after-school activities.
They got about 10 minutes or so, I think, to do that, and then the advisory board comes at them.
Help me understand, what exactly would the cost be per school district to install the GPS system?
Okay, for 3 years, it's going to come out to an average of $100,000. Now, this cost is going to scale based on the number of buses. That would be for 100 buses in the district.
So they get funded.
People loved it. It was great.
It was done in an auditorium. The entire community was invited. Some venture capitalists, angel funds actually came. The foundation came in terms of thinking about funding a business. They listened to the ideas. Some bid. Sometimes the parents take over and decide they're going to fund the business.
I was absolutely inspired, and I just couldn't help but think to myself, how great would this be in Austin, Texas? I mean, are you with me? I mean, is this like built for Austin, Texas? It really is. And I've been very excited about making it happen. So next steps, I would have encouraged you to talk to everybody that you know about this, to the extent that we can really get this out of the business community. I think we want your ideas, we want your input, anything that we can do to help you get involved.
You can get a good teacher. You can put them in the room with the 20-something kids and they can teach them. It will not be as good as if we can find people who can be involved in one way or another. It changes the whole dynamic of the student's experience.
We have a facility. We have funding for the teacher, and I think we're pretty close to launching. What we really need are you. We need the volunteers. You will make this class come to life for the students.
Thank you so much for coming.